Hello everybody and welcome back to Pravus Gaming with more Hearts of Iron for La Résistance, playing as the French Empire led by Napoleon Bonaparte VI. Alright, so no longer sponsored, we are now past that stage. And I want to continue the series because at this point, I feel emotionally connected to this series. I want the French Empire to frickin' survive, dang it. Now, the way I see it, we have a couple of strategies going forward, and this is where we're going to have to start making some hard choices as far as who we want to side with in the upcoming conflict. We could stick with the United Kingdom, and eventually the Allies will get to involve, let's say, the United States, and we'll probably use them to push back the German Reich. Remember, the German Reich so far does not have access to all of my factories, so as long as we can hold the line, the Allies have a very good chance of eventually defeating the German Reich, at least as long as the Soviet Union gets involved. The question is, how confident do I feel that I can set up a good, strong front line and hold that until, what, 1942, 1943 or something like that? At the moment, not particularly good. I don't feel particularly good about that at all. So what is our second option? Our second option is wait until the Germans declare for Poland. The United Kingdom will defend them and jump in, and World War II will officially begin. I will not be a member of World War II, at least at the beginning, because I am not guaranteeing Poland and I am not a member of the Allies. So what I could do then is, as soon as the UK gets called in to a war with Poland, is launch my own invasion of the UK while they are distracted and take all of the UK for myself right away. Plus, if we happen to get lucky, maybe we can take out, like, I don't know, let's say the French Raj, you know, make them into a subject, or Australia, it's the Emu Empire, I don't know, something. We can do some things to his little vassals here and there. Maybe. Maybe if we're lucky. Now, out of that, undoubtedly the Germans will take some part of the UK, because they'll get a good chunk of the war score, but will have taken a whole mess of factories out of England, perhaps created a vassal in Wales to keep their fleet up and running, and now I'm in a much better spot. But here's the main reason that I would want to do this. I think that if I attacked the United Kingdom while the Germans are fighting Poland and the UK, they will invite me into the Axis. That has happened in one of my test games. If I join the Axis, then the Germans may decide they don't want to kill me. They may also just kick me out of the faction and I'm actually screwed. I don't know yet. But, if I can join the Axis, and while we are fighting a major power like the UK, quickly, like, let's say, fabricate a claim on, let's say, nationalist Spain and eat all of Western Europe, now I have a chance to ramp up my industry to actually compete with the Germans, and eventually take them down probably while they are fighting the USSR. So basically, as France, we can backstab the UK, and then backstab Germany, and then backstab the USSR, and that's how Napoleon conquers all of Europe. That is an appealing concept to me, and it really all comes down to, will the Germans kick me out of the faction once they no longer need me with the UK? That would be the question. I don't know the answer at this point, but this is an Iron Man game, so if we fail with this, we're in a lot of trouble. What is going on with the licenses here? Why are you not paying me? Yugoslavia. Unpaid license. Not sending the civilian factories for licensed production. Well, why can't I cancel then? Okay, what's going on here exactly? I am not especially sure what the heck is happening here with Yugoslavia, but we'll come back to that in a minute. They're not giving me my civilian factories. I will say one thing I'm very concerned about is that I don't have enough civilian factories. And this is where possibly attacking the UK becomes a very attractive option to me, because they have a lot of civilian factories that I could definitely use as long as I can steal them away from the Germans. Yes, the Germans are no longer bogged down in World War II. That's true. But if I get a huge benefit out of it, I mean, maybe eventually I can start outproducing them. Or at least attack them at the right moment. By the way, I want to take a look at our spy over here. So we have reached 100% spy network. Now what we could do is actually turn this into a quiet intelligence network, which means that he is far less likely to get caught, but we maintain our spy network at 100%. The other thing I might want to do instead, though, is relocate you to root out resistance over here and start putting down, let's say, the Belgians and the Dutch. All right? Like right over here in Amsterdam or something. There's a lot of territory over here that we want to kind of burn that down, and I'm not sure how much of an effect this makes. Resistance target goes down to minus 10%. Now that's target. I don't think that reduces the existing unrest or resistance by 10%. No, it was 33 before. So I think this is going to create a natural tendency to go down. I just don't know how much. Well, I see this arrow just switched over to green, not red. So I guess we're going down by 0.1 per day. I mean, okay. Yeah, using some spies to quickly get this stuff under control while you build up compliance can certainly be helpful. Not opposed to that at all. Let's see. We have a few months until World War II breaks out. What do I need? Well, you know something I never looked at? We could get scout planes. Scout planes help you gain intelligence over areas where they are flying, which is nice, I think. I've never actually really used these. Gathering intelligence on any troop movements and providing reports of enemy naval deployments has been the original mission for airplanes since their deployment. Could be useful. Could be very useful. Higher priorities, though. Let's see. We're already working on our artillery and anti-tank. I could start developing my medium tanks with the intention of eventually using them against the Germans. I also really need to get things like the engineer companies, but we may have time. Let's go for the medium tank. I do want to research this just so we have the ability. Once I get factories, especially if I do attack the UK and take their military factories, I want to start producing my own breakthrough. Because all I have right now, without any superior firepower doctrine actually being researched, is a reasonable defensive line, but that's it. It's really not that strong right now. We would have nothing that actually can break through the German line. Hey, Yugoslavia, what the heck is going on? Why can't I cancel? Base reluctance. I don't know what I'm supposed to do about this, to be honest. I've never had this issue before. I'm sure that it's obvious to most people, but I don't know. I want to take a look at something real quick. Infantry templates, 84 soft attack, 283 defense compared to this. Yeah, so exact same stats, just a different manpower pool, so this is nice. Do like this. How much would it cost me to get some anti-tank in here? So anti-tank for all that piercing value, get up to 30.5. Would be nice. That would cost me 840 just to deploy them to the Star divisions. So we don't have anywhere near enough anti-tank yet. Not at this point. So I still need more military factories, but we were just finishing up some forts. Now we actually have finished up some good stuff here. Okay, let's get some more forts going. Typically what you should be doing is only building them one level at a time, because it always prioritizes building one up to maximum strength at a time. So if I put like down 5, let's say right here, I might be able to get to level 5 forts, but then there's still 0 over here, or something like that. So usually you just want to build them one at a time, don't stack them up too darn much. I also will definitely want to get some radar going, because a couple levels of radar would actually give me a lot of useful intelligence to use against, say, against the Germans, the Italians. Also would like to get some more vision of what's going on around the UK, because I might be able to use something against them. I'll also really wish that I had some anti-air at some point as well. And more civilian factories, and more military factories, and blah, 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 blah. Basically, I need everything. I need absolutely everything I can get my grubby little paws on. But we're kind of stuck at the moment. I don't need Amsterdam. That was a mistake. There we go. Get these up. All right, so we'll build a couple levels of fort. Apparently, by deciding to build new levels of forts, it automatically prioritizes the radar for some reason. Strikes me as a little weird. That's not what I intended. Forts are top priority, actually. If I don't have at least level 3 forts across the board, I'm pretty confident I actually am dead. So let's at least get that going. How are we doing as far as training all of our troops? So you can see these guys have stopped training. We are getting more and more regulars. We're almost done with that, actually, which means we should be able to start preserving a bit more equipment. I am still a little low on that whole equipment thing, I'm not going to lie. Going for rearmament here is nice. Could trade for some more tungsten. I guess I should, because I really want high efficiency for my anti-tank. Low manpower, yes. Resistance to occupation. It should start burning down by a fair bit. Let's take a quick look-see over here. So yes, this is going down a tiny bit while I get some compliance. Once I get up to informants and stuff, that's nice because it helps you detect enemy operatives so they're less likely to build up resistance and set up a rebellion against you. Getting to local police force is huge because it reduces the number of garrisons needed. And that makes it a lot easier to maintain. Case in point, we're spending a lot over here right now in Belgium trying to keep these guys under control. I don't think I'm at any risk of them actually having an armed insurrection or anything, but you get the point. Okay, so we could try doing, like, some war propaganda and stuff eventually. We already did the anti-communist raids to try and build up some stability, and that's been going fairly well. Could try growing some rubber from Madagascar. Dismantle the Maginot Line, not a freaking chance. And Heckfire. Yeah, nothing I want to do over here, so let's just save up some power. Now, the cool thing about going to war with, let's say, the UK or with Germany is because we'll be fighting a major power, I think that means I'll be able to justify new war goals very, very quickly, and that's what I'm hoping I can use against, let's say, Spain. If I can take the main factories from the UK and from Spain, we will have denied Germany, France, the UK, and Spain. I get a lot and eventually we actually have a chance to outpace them. But again, that depends very heavily on them not wanting to kill me. Let's go for the engineer companies, because I know that I need that entrenchment value. Not optional. Let's get some upgrades to our artillery. And yeah, oh boy, man, we still don't have anywhere near enough factories. Yikes, 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 yikes. Okay, well, oof, man. Not a fan of this arrangement. I'm not a fan of this arrangement at all. Playing as France is rough, dude. Even as Napoleon. This is just freaking hard. Why do I have fascism? Wait, who's doing this? Change due to other parties' change. The communists are being replaced with fascists. This had better be just due to the lack of communists and not because the Germans are trying to do propaganda or something. Though if that's the case, I'm slightly flattered that you would want to flip me over to your side, and maybe that bodes well for me. I don't know. The fact that I am non-aligned, I think, is the only reason they would consider adding me to the Axis, and maybe I would have a chance to use that against them. And the fun thing is, if we are in the Axis and they decide not to get me killed, this guy's an assault guy, I don't want to do anything with you. If he decides to keep me in the Axis until such a time that I'm ready to leave, then we'll have fulfilled our goal with avenging Waterloo. And where is it? I will be able to get a claim against the Germans, but they won't feel threatened by it because I'm part of the Axis. But the second I see them go to war with the USSR, I break the relationship and I kill him. They'll never see it coming. So yes, Hitler. Napoleon and Hitler shall be best budsies. But I got my fingers crossed behind my back. Alright? Alright, rearmament has continued. Anti-tank upgrades are done. Good. Now, we can go for... Oh, gosh. So if I went for factory output, that would be huge. But I also kind of need to continue going down this line. Division defense, land doctrine, fort construction, Maginot line. Like, I don't have a lot of time before World War II breaks out. Now, again, I'm not going to war in 1939. The question is, will the Germans attack me? And the answer is, I don't know. I'm going to continue working down that defensive focus, though, because if they do attack me, I'm going to really wish that I had that option. Okay, I could go for more excavation tech, and we do still have the free trade thing going on, which is actually great. It's getting me quite a few extra factories, I think, although this keeps going down. Okay, recon companies would be a good thing to get. I like reconnaissance. It's helpful. Zog submits to Italy. Okay, they finally took Albania. This feels a little late. Why do I feel like I don't have anywhere near enough troops?
Attention.
I've got a fair number sitting here on the Italian border. We should be able to hold these mountains, right? Especially if I did extend the Alpine Maginot over here. Do I hold on to the political power? Yes. Because if I'm going to go to war with, let's say, the UK, I want to be able to switch over to war economy right away. I think. Wait, war economy requires... War economy does not require... Oh, it does. 50% war support. Yeah, this is the big issue, really, with the French. They just are not interested in going to war worth anything. You have to do some serious propaganda. Give refuge to German scientists. No. Anti-fascist raids. Temporarily lose. No. I say that. I don't think I actually gained... Okay, let me think about this for a second. Did I screw up last time? I think I screwed up last time. I did the anti-communist raids in order to build stability, but I didn't notice that the base stability goes down permanently. It does not come back. So I think I traded away 10% stability for how much? 120 days divided by 7, that is 17 weeks times 0.7 equals 12. Okay, I did actually come away with more stability than I had before. I could do the same thing here then, right? So let me just double check that. 120 days, divide that by 7, that is 17.14 weeks. Multiply that by 0.7, that gives me 12 stability. If I do this, it temporarily weakens me for more stability in the future, and it helps get rid of whatever ideology I don't want. Well, then maybe we should do that. Yeah. Let's just keep building up that stability. We're going to start burning down the democratic support. We're going to start building up more support for that non-aligned. That will result in a net gain of stability for me, and even more stability once the party popularity increases as well. So that should be a net gain. You haven't joined the Axis, have you? No. As long as they don't join the Axis, I feel okay. Though the Carlists are actually starting to take over here. Huh. I wonder if anything's going to happen here. Now, notice, by the way, the Spanish, there we go. The Spanish after finishing their civil war, get this event here, recovering from the civil war, which really hurts their ability to rebuild for, I think it's 4 or 5 years after the end of the war. It's a fairly long time. Fairly long time. We've got a lot of regulars set up over here. This is looking solid. Still training up these new guys, but they were green, so I'm not surprised that they end up being a little weak right now. These guys will train up pretty soon. Yeah. I'm not going to worry about training them right now. I think we got enough time before we have to worry about a war. The question is there anything else I want to train? Like some Alpine divisions and stuff. Obviously very good in the mountains, but they don't have any support companies or anything that I would want right now. So maybe not. Do we want to go ahead and improve the intelligence agency? So I've been feeling really bad that last video, during the sponsor series, I haven't really done much of anything with my intelligence agency. And the reason I haven't done that is because I feel like I don't have anywhere near enough civilian factories. But we probably should be trying to build it up a little bit, right? So, like, let's say I did anti-partisan to try and root out resistance a little bit faster. That could be nice. Forming a department for cryptology could also be huge. If we can get up to 5 upgrades, we get a second spy. And once you have 2 spies, you can start doing a lot of operations. So, that would be nice. Let's go ahead and form a department for cryptology so I can get started on breaking, let's say, the German code. That might be helpful to me. The Belgians are down to 31% in their resistance. We're up to 17% compliance. Still not fantastic. I didn't go through all of our options here, by the way. There are a few other things we could do, and they all have different effects. Civilian oversight is obviously what you want to do when you're gentle. You can reduce the effect of resistance by doing things like local police force, but it reduces your compliance. Secret police reduces compliance even more, but you get additional factories and resources, also less damage to your garrisons, which can be good. Military governor, lots of resources, but compliance goes down even further. Martial law, even less compliance, but tons of resources and very little resistance. Forced labor, even more resistance and some factories, but you lose a load of compliance and also take damage to your garrisons. Blah, blah, blah. Lots of things you can do. We're just trying to be gentle for the moment and gradually integrate the Belgians and the Dutch into the French Empire. That is what we are going for. All right, so we're sitting at 19% with the war support right now. That is not very good. Really, really is not. What else could I do if I tried going for propaganda once a war breaks out? That would help. I'm going to need a lot of war support. I also would love to extend my conscription law as well, but for that, we need, again, 20% war support, which when I declare an offensive war is actually going to be a little on the low side. Also, we need to be fighting somebody who's pretty strong, so getting our laws to work the way I want them to might be difficult as France at the moment. We're working on our radar. That's good. We should go ahead and queue up another round of forts, so let's do that. I'll get these guys at least to level 5 if possible. I'll probably want a lot more over here and stuff as well, wherever they're not crossing a river, but for now this will do. Getting that radar will be good. Start getting some more intelligence. Ooh, better guns. Nice. Let's go ahead and work on that next. Let's see. May 1939. Resources, no. Research speed, no. Scout planes, don't think I can really justify that. Swap over to the superior firepower doctrine. What would I lose? Max entrenchment. Only should swap over once it's cheaper, and I feel like I can get through enough before I have to be defensive in a war. Better armor is already working. I could go for the military police for better suppression value. We're not yet at the point where I want to get things like mechanized. We already can produce armored cars. Do I want to go for things like the military police? Signal companies, field hospitals might be good. There's a lot of things that I feel like I want, but none of them are extremely important. We could go for some faster naval invasions, which would make it easier for me to attack the UK. I'm going to try for the military police, and let's see if we can get this whole garrisons thing figured out. It'll cost me a lot less manpower and a lot less equipment if I can use them. All right, we got a whole bunch of new troops ready to go. Let's go ahead and send them to a new division up over there. I'm going to send you guys... Let's send some of them along the border of Spain for now. Let's get a general. We need somebody reasonably good. you'll have to do, I think, Alphonse. Unless, of course, we want to set some guys up over... You know, if I am going to fight the UK, I'm going to wish that I had some troops set up in Syria and in Africa. That actually could be good. Do I feel like I'm going to need these soldiers against the Axis? If they let me join, then no, I don't. So I am going to set up some troops up over here, then. Let's send a bunch of you over here to Syria and get ready to try and stomp on Egypt. Now, I'm not sure how much of this I'm going to get if we attack the UK. Remember, the way war score works is whoever has the most casualties or inflicts the most casualties tends to get the most, regardless of whether you capture the victory points or not. So they may take on Poland while I take on, let's say, the entire British Empire, but somehow the German Reich will likely walk away with the largest war score. So I need to be a little bit cautious about that. We may not get any of Africa. And that's fine if that's the case. The biggest deal is that I get the UK proper. And maybe, because I will have claims on it, the UK will... Germany will be completely fine with that. I really don't know. Let's go ahead and set up some more troops up over there. I may not call in people like the French Congo, just so I have a narrower front line. And I think that actually is sensible. Yeah, let's just not call in my satellites. That way I don't have to worry about fighting over here. I can just push this way with Italy, and we'll be okay. Okay, so now we can do some decryption. Let's take a look at this. So we go to cryptology here. We select a target. That could be the Germans, it could be the UK, it could be anybody. I'm going to say the Germans. Let's click on them. It'll take 960 days, a very, very long time without any upgrades, to crack the German code. Once it is done, though, here's what happens. For 30 days, you get a minus 15% invasion penalty, which is good for naval invasions. Planning speed goes up by 50%, so you can move fast. Defense bonus against the country goes up by 15%, so you can repel any big push. 50% invasion preparation speed, again, good for naval invasions. Breakthrough bonus against that specific country goes up by 15%, so you can actually be offensive a bit more. And you also get a lot more decrypted ciphers for civilian, army, naval, and air force intelligence, all of which is kind of nice. I'm going to go ahead and research the passive defense. Again, I know I'm spending up some civilian factories, but I want to show you guys just what you are able to do with some of this stuff. I think it's important to understand. We take a look at occupied territory. So this is going down by a fair bit. They're down like 24%. More unassigned divisions. I'm going to let you just build up for a little bit because you're taking forever. The defensive focus will be done soon, and I can spend 50 power to get a really good chief of staff with 10 defensive value for all my troops, which will be significant for all my defensive units. I'm going to change your color to something different. Let's make you green. Sure. I need to change you to be, let's say, red. There we go. We got a lot more troops set up here against Luxembourg than I technically need, but we'll worry about that another time. All right. Going a little slow in this video, I know. I'm just trying to think. Like, France is in such a dang precarious... Oh, there goes Czechoslovakia. France is in such a dang precarious position at the beginning of the game. There's Italy joining the Axis. All right, scary. Doctrine and land fort construction speed. I think yes. We do that next. You guys join up over here. So I'm trying to be smart about this and not rush unnecessarily. All right, I'm trying to make sure that I don't screw up and get myself killed like a big dum-dum. I also know some people didn't have a lot of confidence in me when I just disbanded the entire French army at the beginning of the series. Understandably so, of course. But it's like, it's either one of those stupid things, one of the most stupid things I've ever done, or one of the most brilliant things I've ever done. And that's the thing. It's either big brain moment or small brain moment, and you never really know which one it's going to be. If it works, it wasn't stupid, was it? But if it doesn't work, I look like a big idiot. All right, so what are we missing right now? Support equipment? Yeah. Yeah, lots and lots of support equipment. We are producing 12.88 per day, which means when are we going to have everything that we need? We'll have all of our reinforcements done. Doesn't say. Hang on. I thought there was a way to see how much you need per day. There is. I'm blanking on where the button is. Whatever, it's fine. I don't want to waste a lot of time on that. A few more months, and then guess what happens? That's right, the World War breaks out. Still working on those medium tanks. Do I want to go for things like scout planes? Do I want to go for naval invasion? This would take a while. More companies? I mean, getting things to the field hospitals would be really good. Would be very, very good to be able to preserve my manpower and my experience. Signal companies probably won't do me a ton of good for reinforcement quite yet. We could try to be bold and go for the research, but this will not be done before the war breaks out. So I'm trying to think if there's anything that I really, really want before I end up fighting the UK. And I don't think so. I don't think it's absolutely crucial. This could be helpful. I'm going to go for the landing craft in case I need to land a much larger invasion against the UK. I think I'm going to go for this strategy. I think I am. It might work. It might work really well. Tank destroyers? I think I'm going to go for the self-propelled artillery and just go ahead and research that because I want to start prepping up for some really good templates. How many troops do I have over here again? 15. That feels like too many. Send a few down this way instead. I know that the British have a lot of troops set up colonially over here as well. That's probably fine, though, right? I don't know. Maybe it's going to hurt, maybe it's not. Maybe we'll be okay. I know that if we can take out the UK and nationalist Spain and eat a lot of this land, we're going to have really nice-looking borders. Proper French Empire, indeed. Oh, should we get that Chief of Staff? Yes. Was it a Chief of Army? Yes, this one right here. 50 political power for 10% more defense. Worth. 100% worth it to me. So let's see. We're still training all of you up. Oh, gosh, if I just had more support equipment, I would feel like I could train up so much more. But I don't. We could deploy them anyway and just reinforce later. Like, that is a thing. Okay, we're actually up to 30% war support, I just realized. Do we want to go to partial mobilization? Or do I want to save up for war economy? If I declare the war, I will not have the 50% war support that I need. But I could save a lot of political power if I wait on this. I think I can afford to wait. Still finishing up some more radar. But again, radar, so not only does it help detect things like enemy deployment of, let's say, navies and air force, I think it actually does give you some passive intelligence in some of these regions as well. So radar is actually pretty good to have. It is definitely worth building now, if you're willing to do so. How are we doing on resistance? I don't want to have to worry about these guys. Okay, we're getting down to 28%. Almost at the 25% that I would need for the local police force, and that will make a great difference. Nobody's able to become a collaborative state anymore. I'm not sure why we were able to get to 80% before, but we can't now. Oh well. I think the collaborative governments work kind of like when the Germans set up Vichy France. In the standard World War II scenarios. So I'm not sure how much good that's going to do me. Gosh, that looks like a lot of dangerous Italians, but fighting in mountains, they're not very good at it. Usually they throw themselves against us pretty badly. Recon companies are done. Excellent, so those are upgraded. I'm going to go ahead and start researching. I want to upgrade. What do I want, though? Hang on, wait. What do I want? Do I go for the signal companies anyway? Yes. These are good. They're worth getting. I feel a little questionable about it, but we're going to try. I'm going to set you guys up to a different field marshal, actually. Probably you. You'll be fine. And let's get 1, 2, 3 of you into a different army under your control. There we go. And we'll set you guys up over, I don't know, where do I see a lot of UK troops? There's some over here. I guess we could just kill these guys real quick. Sure. Trying to set up so I'll be able to take on the British if I want to. How are we doing on artillery, at least? Still not great. I did kind of reduce my efficiency by swapping over to a newer model. I know that, but they have so much better stats. Okay. Okay. Again, I know, slow video, but we're setting the groundwork for a really, really strong, explosive growth moment as France. I'm going to go ahead and... You know what? I'm going to go ahead and research the scout planes just because they're new. I don't know if I'm going to end up using them. I'm not even sure really how impactful that intelligence is. But I'm going to go ahead and start researching it just in case. Let's also make sure we set up some troops over here eventually. We'll need all of this. There we go. I know we could swap these guys over to more theaters, but I don't like doing that. It takes too much effort.
Attention.
Who else do we have? Okay, we got one more. I'm going to add you to red. Let's just go ahead and get full divisions in Europe, just to be safe. What I should do is start setting up a naval invasion order, because there is a good chance that I want to be able to immediately jump on the UK. So I'm going to take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. Oh, wait. Always got to deselect that first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, send here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, send here. And I don't think I can send any more. No, 10 is my maximum right now, which is the exact reason that I wanted to research the upgrade to landing craft to get that capacity up to 40, which gives me a pretty nice advantage. But now we're going to have to spend 35 days for each of these invasions. I will need some solid naval intelligence and my navy to actually, you know, protect my convoys. But if we can do that, we'll be in good shape. Having the radar helps, having Air Force helps, having the Navy helps. We can just land here, get to Dover, then march into London. I can flood over some reinforcements, hopefully join the Axis, destroy the UK, stay in the Axis while I destroy, let's say, Spain, before they become a threat on my back door, and then as soon as Germany turns their back, we backstab them. Like the filthy French Napoleonists. I don't know. What am I trying to say? Wait a minute. Was Napoleon actually was Napoleon a filthy backstabber? Oh, I don't know anymore, but I'm going to assume that he was. All right, anyway. Thank you all very much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and if so, then I would ask you to hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.
All right, let's go ahead and do it.